Hey guys, Glenn Kellaway coming to you from the basement. I think I can get 10 seconds of Lois and the Low in. That's it. I'll get in trouble. Hope everyone's doing well. Cardboard head guy in line, first in line. Very cool. Give me 1 second to get myself organized here. Oh, Wednesday night. Wednesday Night Live. Excuse me for the silence. We'll start yapping in a sec. Take some Tylenol, get ready. Okay, we're rocking it now. Everything's good. 3 people watching. Hello, cardboard head guy. I think I'm going to sneeze. I got to stop this. Jason, hello. Greetings, Mr. Basement. I love that. I think I'm going to change my name legally. From the will be my middle name. I'll just put it all as one word. From the. And who else is here? Uncle, that's my nephew Bob. I didn't know we were related, but that's fine. I play a banjo, so I probably got relatives all over the place. I don't know. What can I say? Wednesday night. I've only got. Tomorrow's my last day celebrating a birthday that starts in a 6. Oh my God, I can't believe how old I am. It's terrible. Thank God we're all living healthier, longer lives these days, which is very cool. I have people who I talk to have health issues and they don't like taking medications or anything. And I tell you, with the health, what they prolonged our lives. So, take it, man. If it helps you, take it. We all live longer because of all these things, advancements and stuff. Enough of that. I don't know where. Oh, my buddy Rob. I forgot to send him an invite. He's probably waiting. Oh, yuck. This is not good. Oh, man. Excuse me. Okay, done. There he goes. I have to ask you, are you live? Yes, I am live, I think. Hold on. Yeah, I can feel a pulse, and I'll do the mirror test. Yeah, I fogged up the mirror. I'm good. Hey, how are you? Travis, I'm pretty freaking good tonight. Raring to go. Tomorrow, I'm very excited. My daughter's flown up from Florida. Her arms are tired, so she's not coming over till tomorrow. She is staying in the city tonight in Toronto, visiting some old friends and stuff. And Rob, I'm just going to put the link up on the screen because I just sent it to you. I forgot it. I forgot to send it to you. So just bear with me for a sec. It's coming. Paste. There it is, buddy. You got it. It's right there. Yeah, so celebrate my birthday on Friday. Both my daughters and my granddaughter are coming over tomorrow. The 3 of us are going to be here along with my wife Lynn and I. Hey, buddy! Oh, look at that!
Or that just for you.
You're a good man.
That's all I got you for your birthday.
You're wearing a Jays hat. That's really cool.
This is all I got you, so
Yeah, that's really cool. I have the same hat.
This was actually my son's, but I figured it would serve the purpose.
I got one of those from last year's birthday, I think.
Nice.
Unbelievable. How's everything?
Everything's good. How about you?
Really good. Couldn't be better, man.
Good.
Great mood.
Good.
Raring to go. I know we got to get a hockey thing out of the thing. Ryan O'Reilly's on Canucks radar. You good? I'm a fan, so I was hoping he'd sign back in Toronto, but I don't think the Leafs can afford him. There's not a lot of people on the free agent market this summer, and he's one of the only centers, and I think unless he really wants to stay in his hometown of Toronto, then he's probably going somewhere else. So the Canucks can have him. I never stay up late enough to watch the Canucks anyway, so I didn't even know they had a team. That'll get him. Dan's always good with the comments. I don't know. So, are you following this submarine thing?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
I don't get it. Here's what I don't get. I'm not a smart guy, but there's a boat.
Two of us.
There's a boat that has a little submarine on it that parks above a shipwreck, and they let the submarine go down.
Yeah.
How do you lose it? Because
it sounds like it ran out of it. I was just watching tonight before we came up. Now they're saying that over the last couple of years, they've postponed some of the journeys because of electrical issues.
I get
So
that, but
if the
what I don't understand,
if the electronics and everything went on the ship like an hour after it submerged,
I guess
they
currents
could lose
maybe.
everything.
I guess currents maybe dragged it somewhere else, and yeah,
They don't know where the hell it is. Yeah, but don't forget that's 13,000 feet underwater.
Yep.
How many feet in a mile?
I don't know, but it's
Like 3,000 and something, I think.
I don't do miles because I'm not 85
Oh, you're
years
kilometers.
old.
Yeah, you're a young guy.
Yeah.
I do miles. We should be doing fathoms. It's the ocean.
Let's take a look here.
Even
The
kilometers.
Titanic is 12,500 feet below sea level. So what's that in metric here? Feet to meters. So 12,500 feet, 3.8 kilometers. That's a long way down.
How many kilometers?
3.8.
Wow. It's insane.
Yeah, and I was watching on the news, like
2.5 miles.
Right? So they were showing footage of this thing from, years ago or whatever, and it's like the size of a bathtub.
Yeah.
I would feel so claustrophobic.
They said it's the size of a minivan.
Yeah.
If you put 5 people in a van, that's the room you have.
Right. But at least in a minivan, you can get out. When you're in this thing, you can't get out.
That's the thing. Okay, so here's the preposition. Rob, hey, have you got an extra $250,000?
Of course.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got this cool idea. We can get on this really small, like, compartment, and once we get inside, they bolt us in so we can't get out.
Oh, I'm liking this.
And then they going to drop us 13,000 feet under the ocean, where they say the pressure they said the same pressure down on your body if you weren't in the boat is the same as 2 full-grown elephants standing on you.
I mean, what could go wrong?
So why would you not want to pay $250,000 for this experience?
Listen, I'd pay for you too. Let's do it.
Oh, I don't get it. I understand people are adventurers, and
my wife and I were talking about it because she's been following on the news. And I said, I've thought years ago when they started doing some of these expeditions, I was thinking that would be cool. I would love to see the wreck with my own eyes. But then the other part of my brain goes, are you insane? Think of all the things that could go wrong. Not a chance in hell. Not if you paid me to go. Not if you paid me for the rest of my life. Not happening.
And to pay, like if someone said to me, I'll give you $250,000 to get on it, I wouldn't get on it.
Nope.
Let alone pay $250,000.
There's nothing that would get me on it.
No, me neither. It's crazy. And
crazy.
There was one guy they interviewed who I think he was on one of the earlier trips or something. And he said the amount of paperwork that you have to sign, he says you sign off on every eventual kind of death that you could experience down there. So there's no liability probably.
Yeah, sure. No thanks. I'm good.
Wow. Nick Lowe pulled off the greatest stunt calling his 1976 EP Bowie after Bowie had the
supposed to be Bowie, I guess.
Oh. Hi guys. Hi Marcia.
Marcia.
Wonder if they could use an underwater crane to help get the subs out. Yeah, if they could find it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing now. They're running out of time. So say even that they're right and they've still got air for another 24 hours. If they find them, how long is it going to take? Like you just can't just super lift this thing out of the water. It went. I think they said in the hour and a half that before it disappeared, it only fell about 2,000, was down about 2,000 feet at that point.
And I was watching
So
this morning. They had the one Canadian Coast Guard rescue ship was leaving St. John's, and it's 700 miles. It's not going to get there till tomorrow.
yeah,
And, and then what?
I don't know. And then if they can't find it, are they just going to leave them down there? Is this like a tomb?
I don't know.
Wow, this is kind of like. I mean, if sadly, if they perish in this thing, this is like being buried alive.
Yes. I can't even imagine what's
And
going
I'm
through their heads.
claustrophobic a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I got stuck in an elevator once and I thought I was going to die. And I was only in there for like 4 minutes and I honestly thought I was going to die.
For all our American friends, so it's over 2 miles down. Snorkeling is the limit for me. I won't even snorkel. I
Me
won't go in
neither.
the ocean at all. Like I'm afraid of sharks. So
I can't swim for shit.
I'm a pretty good swimmer, but
I could swim from here to my neighbor's house if my life depended on it. That's as
a
far as I could go.
couple of years ago, my daughters rented a cottage, and we went up, and we were sitting on the dock, and it was a pretty small lake actually, and there was a rowboat there. And my daughter Andrea says, "Do you want to go for a row?" I said, "Why don't we go for a rowboat ride?" That's a good idea. So we didn't put any life jackets. Like it's a very small lake.
Right.
Anyway, I'm doing all the rowing, and we're halfway out in the lake, exactly halfway, and my arms are getting tired. I'm going, why don't we switch? So she said, okay. And she stands up, and I stand up, and the
Oh
boat goes
no.
like this. I'm out of the boat. I'm in the water.
That's awesome.
And I can't get I don't know if you ever tried to lift yourself into a boat in the middle of a
Nope.
lake. You can't freaking do it. There's no way.
Nope.
You're soaking wet. So I'm just stuck there. I'm going, now what the frick are we gonna do? So going, Jesus, I don't know. And we're sitting there, going, I can't get up. And she's going, I can't. I said, try and pull me up. No, because then I'll go in. It was just a nightmare. So we start hollering towards shore to my daughter Stephanie, going, come out in another little thing, bring out those, those noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're yelling, Steph, bring a noodle. So she comes out in something and brings a noodle, and then we get out there, and I go, okay, now I'm on something. I thought, well, why don't I just hang on to the back of the boat and she can row it back to shore? I don't know why we didn't, but that's how I got back.
Right.
Your show is depressing tonight. No, it's not. It's my
Just
birthday.
the excitement has barely started.
Yeah. We're
It's
getting
exciting. Look at my hat.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo.
Okay. Tribute albums, are they worth listening to more than once? Some are.
Some are.
Some aren't. Have you got any good ones that come to mind?
Not off the top of my head.
There's a really good one, singer-songwriter from Austin, Texas, Alejandro Escovedo.
Yes.
Great singer-songwriter. And
one that actually does come to mind is there's that album that various artists did, and it's called The Art of McCartney. That's pretty
I've never heard that one.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I know I'm aware of it, but
anyone and everyone covering McCartney solo songs and Beatles songs. It's a 3 LP thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm aware of it, but oh yeah, here's a slap in the face to
Rob. Oh Jesus.
Why is that?
I don't know.
She announced like 42 more dates or something.
I think she just can't. I think she's too emotionally vulnerable and still too much in love with me to be in the same country.
Probably. She hasn't written the song yet.
I know. So I'm upset because if it happens, the wife and I are going. So
I went swimming in Maui in shallow water, and 1 second I got pulled out 20 feet or so almost. Yeah, I can have the undertow. Yeah. Right? I can see that. That's scary. Water's not to be farted around with.
Nope.
The Art of McCartney's pretty good. Yeah, I hadn't heard it. But yeah, there are some good tribute albums, but there are some crappy ones too. Maybe that's what we should do one week.
I don't have a lot of tribute albums, I don't think.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
might actually be the only one.
hold on. I got to talk to you about something.
Uh-oh. Usually if someone says that, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, Rob. I want you to go to your room. No, so
I'm in my
I don't
room.
know if you been following my videos. I went to see Lois of the Low last Friday night
Yes.
in Oshawa, and I
Yeah.
saw the opening act, Ace of Wands. Are you familiar with this band?
I'm not. I hadn't heard of them till your video.
Well, you gotta check it out. It's a pretty good album, and I
Yeah,
know you're a big fan of Canadian music.
I am. I've
They're from
never heard of
Toronto.
them.
Yeah, give it a listen. It's called
Okay.
Desiring. It just came out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Yeah, I
got
don't.
another album too. It's two women and playing guitars and a guy playing drums, and
I'm going to see
I really
who's
like
on it because I bet you I've probably heard of some of the people. Ace of what?
Ace of Wands.
Ace of Wands.
Wands. And it's on red vinyl. I bought the vinyl and the CD.
Let's see here. Vinyl and the CD. Wow.
Yes.
Big purchase.
My
Who's
daughter
that?
took me to the show for Father's Day, so I figured I can spend some money on a record then. I'll blame it on Doc Dawkins. Yeah, is that Larry? Or
I
the
don't.
real Doc Dawkins?
I actually don't know who these three people are, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And they're from Toronto. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty in touch with bands coming out of Toronto. I've never heard of any of these people.
Mm-hmm. They're real cool. I talked to them after the show and
Interesting.
gave them a shout out on hey Rich, last year you hosted my 69th birthday, but you're in semi-retirement. I didn't want to bug you this year. So, but hope you're doing okay, buddy. Are you coming back to us? You're more than welcome to come on if you'd like. Glenn, you like country rock? Some right Doobie Brothers Stampede albums very much like that, but it rocks. Yeah, I'm trying to find used Doobie Brothers albums. I've only found the one once Vices.
You don't see them very much.
You don't.
No.
Yeah. So tonight we're gonna. Are you prepared for the collaboration?
Yeah, I got a stack here, and surprisingly, actually, I got 10 plus 1. I got 11. I had way more collaborations than I thought. Now, some are full albums, some are just songs, but
Yeah.
I had way more than I thought, and it was hard to narrow it down.
I was going. Did you just do all vocals?
Yeah, primarily, I think.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna do. I'll give a shout out to this one because I'm a Sting fan, and his second solo album, he does a cover of Hendrix's song "Little Wing."
Right.
And Eric Clapton does a really cool, nice lead on it. So I was going to include that. And then I went, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'll just do all vocals. So.
Yeah, that's what I did just because it was easier.
Okay. Did you rank them or are you just kind of showing them?
I think I could probably rank them as we go, actually. Okay. Yeah, I think I could rank them as we go.
I wonder if we'll have any the same. Be interesting.
I doubt it.
Okay. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
So guys, just to let everybody know what we're doing, we decided we're going to rank our favorite collaborations, meaning a guest artist on a studio album. There's lots of live people, show up on live stuff and that, but this is just studio albums. Invite somebody in to sing a song with them. We didn't do obviously guitars, like we didn't do Clapton playing on "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" or anything. So
right. I know you don't have this one, and this is a collaboration in the form of two artists that made an entire album together. And this is Mavis Staples and Levon Helm.
I want that album.
So it's good. Listen, it's really, really good. And when we talked about this a week or two ago, I mentioned it in one of our other live streams. It's really good. It's not what I expected because Levon doesn't sing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just his band, and it's Mavis singing the whole thing. So it should be more like it's a Mavis Staples album, and Levon and his band are the backing band. So it's kind of.
Are they studio recordings or?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And it's really good. But if you're expecting to hear Levon sing, you don't. But that said, it's Mavis Staples. I mean, the woman is incredible. So
that's a great voice.
This came out in 2022. It's a double LP. Probably Probably is about the worst cover ever. But I mean, what a boring cover that is.
Yeah,
Reminds me of the Eagles' long run because it's almost
it
identical.
kind of looks like that. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's my number 10.
Wow. Okay, so Rich says, still not ready to come back. Hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy the time with your family on your birthday. Thanks, Rich. You know I love you, buddy. We miss you. I like the Glenn Campbell, Bobby Gentry album. I do too. That's a whole album of collaborations. But yeah, I mean, same. You just showed one like that. But James, hey, good evening, James. Ebony and Ivory, one of my least favorite collaborations. And I love Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. I it's not that it's bad. It's just it should have been with two geniuses like that. It should have been some epic freaking thing. Happy 7th. Thanks, Jack. I'm only 53 years older than you. Easy Lover by Phil. Oh yeah, remember that? Philip Bailey and Easy
Oh
Lover.
yeah.
Okay, my number 10. I came up with a kind of a fun one to start. I don't even know if this is a real collaboration. I think it is.
Okay.
The Guess Who. Clap for the Wolfman.
Oh yeah, that's a clip. I've got that on a 45.
With
Wolfman
Guess
Jack.
Who and Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they just didn't take edits from his.
No, I think he
actually
came to record for that.
Yeah. So okay, so it worked. Yeah, that's
I'm gonna say that's good.
Okay.
That's a good one. That was one of my. I remember before I even got into music as a teenager when I was growing up. You know, Dad would leave early in the morning, and Mom and I'd be having breakfast, and the radio would be on before school, and we listened to the local oldies station. And I remember hearing that on the oldies station. That was one of the first Guess Who songs I remember because it was. I mean, it's kind of almost a novelty song, but first.
It's a good tune, though.
It is a good tune, and so when I was getting some 45s back in the day, I found an original one of that, and I think it was given to me. So. Yeah.
Very cool.
Was that? I don't even know if that was like a. I mean, that wasn't a hit. I don't think it doesn't really appear.
It was released as a single. I don't know how it charted, but
it doesn't show up in any of their greatest hits or anything.
Yeah, that is on the greatest. Isn't that on the greatest hits album?
It's not on Volume 1 or Volume 2.
Yeah, it's on this one.
Which one's that?
The Guess Who's Greatest Hits.
I don't have that one. I've got Volume 1 and Volume 2.
This has got 18 songs on it.
That must be a later release, like 80s or 90s.
This is a pretty old one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Okay. You got another one?
I do. I got lots.
Are you done?
No. I'm going to call this a collaboration simply because it's two guys that had very enormous careers apart from each other, and they did a one-off record together before they both got famous. So I'm going to call this a collaboration. And I know you don't have this one either. This is Long Branch Pennywhistle. And this is Glenn Frey from the Eagles and J.D. Souther. And they did this album before the Eagles were founded. So it's kind of a collaboration. They were both singer-songwriters. They got together, did one album. J.D. did his own thing, and Glenn Frey co-founded the Eagles. So it sounds like you would think it sounds like. It sounds like, sounds kind of like the first Eagles record. Sounds kind of like, Graham Parsons kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds exactly like what you'd think.
It's a Southern California country rock.
That's kind of what it is. And there they are on the back. It's the original pressing's hard to find, but they reissued this in 2018. So the reissue, which is what this is pretty easy to find. But if you're an Eagles fan or you like J.D. Souther, this is the one. I like it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next I'm going with Dire Straits. Brothers in Arms. Money for Nothing. I want my MTV. Sting.
On my MTV. You do it a little better than Sting does.
Really? No, I'm a Sting fan.
No, I'm
That's
kidding.
you don't like him?
He's all right. I
Yeah,
mean, I like him and I respect him. Do I own any Sting? No.
yeah.
Will I own any Sting? No.
Well, there you go. I've been stung.
You've been stung.
Yeah, but that's my second one.
Yeah,
I like
that's a
that
good one.
collaboration. I still like that song. People say it's dated now, I guess, because of the
It is, but it's
yeah.
still it's dated, but it's a classic.
Yeah.
What's the
What else is
peanut
going on
gallery
here? We
say?
got people talking here. Our friend Randy Nelson. Hey Randy, happy 70th, man. Thank you. I'm guessing Elton John and Kiki D, though they won't be on my list. I don't know if they're
Nor
going to be
mine.
on Rob's. Okay, there we go. That was I don't know if you know this. We did a live chat, I think on Larry's channel a year or so ago, and we did this collaborations, I think. And Larry was just about to say what collaboration he had, and I said, "Please don't be Elton John and Kiki D. You're not going to use that crap, are you?" And that was his next one on his list.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hey, Randy's now an official Canadian. He just ordered Lowest of the Lows, Shakespeare in My Butt off of
There
Amazon.
you go.
So
There you go.
he gets the Canadian status. The Stampeders and Wolfman hit the road, Jack. Did they?
I didn't know they did that.
I didn't know that he was involved with them on one too, but it's on most Guess Who comps. There, you got told.
But it's not on the most famous Guess Who comps. So
Dave Clark collaborating with the other DC5 was rare. Carlene Carter with Rockpile on a few songs was awesome. He's joking, right, Dan? You never know with Dan.
yeah.
He's got his tongue firmly in his cheek at all times. Elton and Neil Sedaka, yeah. What song was that? It was bad. I thought of that one, Queen, David Bowie, and
Yeah, so did I, but I don't have it on vinyl, so I didn't show it.
oh, Rich, he's so predictable. Leather and Lace, Henley and Stevie Nicks, and I guarantee that's coming up. Whenever I call you friend, Kenny Loggins was Stevie Nicks. Yeah. Stevie sure got
Nicks did
around.
a lot of collaborations.
She did. I guess kind of as a stupid, more as a session guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't call
And he
that
didn't sing along or,
in the gray
you know, if
area.
you're going to do that, then you could say Clapton on
While My
While My
Guitar
Guitar
Gently
Gently
Weeps. Yeah.
Weeps. George Martin playing piano on countless Beatles songs.
Right.
All the road, yes, a beautiful song and a great
Yes.
album. Mark Knopfler
Yeah.
and Emmylou Harris. Why didn't I think of that one? Dancing in the Streets. Phew. I actually like their cover of that. Willie and To All the Girls I've Loved Before. Oh, that's bad. That was a bad one. Who's up next?
Me.
Okay.
So this is like a super collaboration. So I'm willing to bet Glenn will be the only one that knows this, and Glenn disappeared.
Oh, did I? Oh, I was bending.
Oh, there you are. Oh, I thought you just said screw it and left.
Yeah, I'm done. I fell asleep.
You left me
I'm
holding
old now.
the
I'm
bag.
70.
So I'm going all the way back to, where am I going back to? 1985. And I'm sure everyone remembers in the US, they did that We Are the World, which was like,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and everybody. But
Mhm.
most people don't know we did something similar in Canada.
Uh-huh.
There was a super group called Northern Lights, and they did Tears Are Not Enough.
Yeah.
And let me run down some of the people that are on here. Brian Adams, I think he was the one that organized it, actually.
Yeah, him and David Foster, right?
And David Foster, Tom Cochran, Bruce Coburn, Burton Cummings, Corey Hart, Ronnie Hawkins, Tommy Hunter, Gordon Lightfoot, Richard Manuel, Murray McLaughlin, Kim Mitchell, Joni Mitchell, Anne Murray, Ian and Sylvia Tyson, Neil Young,
Yep.
and on and on and on and on. It was our version of the Canadian take on sort of We Are the World. So
there was a documentary on the making of that. Have you ever seen it?
I probably did back in the
There was
day.
a really funny part when Neil was doing his part and David Foster was kind of trying to direct him. and Neil would sing. I can't remember his line now, but anyway, he sang it in his Neil Young style, and David Foster went, Neil, can you do it again? Do it like that? And he's going, David, that's my style. Like he says,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it, man. That's the way I play. That's the way I sing.
yeah. This was it was for the Northern Lights for Africa charity.
Yeah, it was the same thing as the
Yeah,
raising money for the live,
yeah,
from the Live Aid thing.
yeah. So there, that's a super collaboration.
That was Elton John. Neil said it's called Bad Blood. That song was so bad I can't even remember how it goes. I
Yeah,
erased it from my mind. Don't forget about Geddy Lee on Battle Scar by Max Webster. Wow. Clap for the One was the next single after Best of the Guess Who Volume 2.
and that's why I don't have it, because I only have Best of 1 and 2.
There's a good reason why no one remembers the Canadian version. Their fatal mistake was not inviting Doug and Bob. Yeah, pretty much. Stevie Nicks on John Stewart Gold. Oh, Stevie got around.
He did.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Geddy Lee was speaking of Doug and Bob. Oh, how did I forget this one? It should have been my number one. Oh, Fairy Tale of New York. Randy, I'm embarrassed. I forgot to mention that one. That is the best collaboration ever. Oh, the only song I listen to at Christmas time. Okay, my next one. Roger Waters won't be happy with me because he didn't like this. He wanted to do it over again, and they told him to screw off. But Wish You Were Here.
Yep.
Have a Cigar. Roy Harper.
Yep.
I think he does a great job on it.
Yeah.
But supposedly Roger Waters hated it and wanted to do it over and do it himself, and we're not. That's not happening. So anyway, I think it's good.
Yes. Agreed. Am I up next here? I'll go next.
No, it's the other guy.
The other guy. Well, I just meant there's not enough comments for us to read comments. Smart ass. I'm going to take this hat off if you're not careful. Turn it around so it's no longer a happy birthday to you, sir.
Now you're just like an idiot with a bunch of candles on your head.
I'm an idiot regardless, so what's it matter, right? This is a fantastic album that maybe not a lot of people know. This is Nico Case and her boyfriends. It's called Furnace Room Lullaby. You've heard of Nico Case, I'm sure.
I have heard of her and never listened to one song. Like, I feel like I should be listening to her.
You should. You absolutely should. This came out in, 2000. And her boyfriends are a slew of guest musicians. So
her boyfriends?
My friend Bob Egan from Wilco, he's on this.
Oh, wow.
And
did he date her too?
What's that?
Did he date her too?
No.
Oh.
Ron Sexsmith is on here, who you would know.
Yes.
And most of the Sadies, Dallas and Travis Good, they're on here.
Is she Canadian?
No, she's from I want to say like Chicago.
Okay.
I think. So I call this a collaboration because, the Sadies and Bob and a few other people from other bands, but mainly because of the Sadies. But this is a I think probably her strongest album, and I think the one after this was called Middle Cyclone, which is phenomenal as well.
Very cool.
Nico Case and the Sadies is what I'm calling that.
I'm making a mental note. Guess who did a song about Gordon Lightfoot called Lightfoot?
Yes, I know.
And
other folks would know that if they watched our Gordon Lightfoot discussion from a few weeks back.
Yeah, I knew
we
that.
mentioned it.
Beach Boys in Chicago, Wishing You Were Here. That's a wimpy one for me, but it's a collaboration nonetheless. Does Rob like the new Pornographers as well?
Well, any pornographer is good in my books.
Especially the new ones.
Yeah. The new Pornographers are great. That's a band that Nico Case is in. It's a Canadian band, but she's in it. I think they're based out of, I want to say Vancouver, but I've got a couple of their albums digitally.
Oh, interesting. Okay, my next one, Rob. I think Randy Nelson might know this, but I'm pretty sure Rob probably be the only other guy who knows it. Lee Harvey Osmond,
Oh yeah,
Tom Wilson,
Tom Wilson.
A Quiet Evil, which was the first album released under the Lee Harvey Osmond name.
Yep.
And there's a collaboration with Margot Timmons from Cowboy
Cowboy Junkies.
Junkies. Actually, her brother produced this album.
Nice.
And the song's called I'm Going to Stay That Way. It's You Drove Me Crazy and I'm going to Stay That Way. It's kind of a ballady, kind of a country song about a guy going to prison and all this stuff, the typical kind of country song, but it's a great collaboration. Tom Wilson and Margot Timmons sing great together. So that's a cool album if anybody has not heard it.
I was just trying to find it on my phone, but I can't find it. I've got a picture of me with Tom Wilson.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's kind of a crazy guy, but
He is a crazy guy. I've got a chance to talk to him a couple of times too.
Surprisingly, I do not like his Lee Harvey Osmond stuff.
Oh, I love it.
I don't. I love Blackie and the Rodeo Kings.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan.
And that's when I met him. I met him at a Blackie and Rodeo King show, and I met Steven and
and
the other guy,
Colin.
Thank you. And I love even more than that the stuff he did. I'm totally drawing a blank. His band before that. God damn it.
Junk House.
Junk House. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a few Junk House albums
too. I saw Junk House at El Macombo in the 90s.
How long ago?
Oh, back in the 90s. I saw them open for a guy, a kind of an acoustic bluesy guy. At the time, his name was Chris Whitley. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No.
Really good, very sparse kind of guitar playing and bluesy. He passed away at a young age and he died of a heart attack or something.
Oh, yeah?
But, he actually has a daughter named Trixie Whitley who did a collaboration with, help me here, Daniel Lanois. They put an album out together.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a great voice. Her albums are good, but that's his daughter. So
I would have loved to have seen Junk House back.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah. Booker T with Willie. I didn't know Booker T played on that album, and that's a favorite album of mine, Willie Stardust album. Interesting. Bruce Springsteen and Mellencamp. Yeah, I was going to mention that one too. That's one I was thinking of bringing out. Springsteen does 3 songs with him on that album. Carl Newman from the New Pornographers in a Vancouver band called Zampano, and they were pretty great.
Never heard of them. I know Carl Newman, but I've never heard of Zampano.
Clapton and Elton, Runaway Train. Was that on a Clapton album or an Elton John album?
Oh, I just thought of one more I got to pull.
Bruce Hornsby and Sean Colvin. That would be cool to hear. I'm a fan of both of those artists, John. That's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Chris Whitley. Yeah, he's great, Randy? Yeah, I saw him. And I'm a fan of his too. I've got a few of his albums. Living with the Law was his debut album. Brian Eno, Robert Fripp. Yeah, collaborations for sure. Ever Hendrix and Jim Morrison jam on the Bootleg Live album? Nope, never heard that. Coverdale Page, yes. Elton's the one. Okay. I think I scared Rob off.
No, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Here he comes. I wonder if he's still got his hat on. Backwards.
How the hell did I can't find what I was looking for?
Oh, okay.
Can't find it.
Well, it's your turn.
My turn. Okay. I'm going to go with this. 2 bands that I never thought would go together, but they do. The Saints Are Coming, U2 and Green Day.
I didn't even know they played on it.
They did. So this was a U2 compilation from 2006. And the Saints Are Coming. The proceeds for that went to the Hurricane Katrina Relief Fund.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I love U2 and I love Green Day, and not much more to say. But
wow, very cool. Yeah, Runaway Train was on Elton's album, The One. Jimmy Barnes and In Excess on Good Times by the Easy Beats. I don't know that one either. I was never a big In Excess fan.
Me neither. My wife loves them, but
I'm reading a book on Joe Strummer from the Clash, and Joe Strummer was somewhere in I don't know if they were on the same bill with In Excess or what, but anyway, that Michael Hutchins guy from In Excess was there, and he had all these young groupies hanging around, and he was bragging to Joe Strummer about how it, how powerful he was to get all these women and to
Right.
screw them all and all that,
Right.
and Joe Strummer said. I think he made a comment to Joe Strummer. Well, you must know what that's all about. And he goes, "No." He says, "I was a spokesman for a generation."
Wow. Wow. That's something else. I know what I'm gonna pull. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus!
Just keep talking for a minute.
It's like,
Just keep talking.
let me entertain you. Let me make you
Hey,
smile.
got it. I
Oh,
thought of a great
show.
one.
This is it. Hit the lights. Dun, dun, dun.
It's your turn anyway. So what are you
Is
waiting on
it?
me?
Oh,
Yeah.
what did
I
you
just
go
showed
last on? What
I
did you
just
just
showed
show?
you I just showed you two. So
Oh
it's your
yeah.
turn.
Okay, I get the feeling you might show this one too, but I'm going to show it now so I
All
can
right.
beat you. Cahoots.
I'm not showing it.
Van Morrison, 4% Pantomime.
Yeah.
I love that freaking song. What a great
I'll
vocal collaboration with him and Richard Manuel.
I have a Van Morrison connection in the next thing that I'm showing. But
Okay, cool.
I'm
But
not I
yeah,
thought
this is
about that, but I didn't show that one because I
very
figured you
great.
might.
Favorite band album. I think it's a great album, but yeah,
Not
that's
my
that's
favorite.
it's not my favorite of the bands, no, but the great songs on this are great and the weak songs are weak.
Yeah, to me it I think to me it might be my second least favorite, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's might be my favorite song on that album, actually.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Oh God, say. Oh,
No.
yeah, that's awful.
Nope.
What was Joe Strummer's message? Uh, that I, the message he was saying with that comment, I would say he's kind of saying you're just an immature arsehole. But
I think so.
yeah, Kellaway, yes, the Cosmic Torpedoes.
I don't know if
Unfortunately,
I
we haven't
know
been in the
either of those.
studio
Who are
though.
those guys?
Rob, the hat reminds me of Dr. John.
Yeah, well.
Jim Croce have any good albums? I think Jim Croce had a lot of good albums. Yeah, check out Don't Mess Around with Jim. I think is probably his strongest album. Oh my God, my heart, Jack, you're having heart issues at 17.
That's a problem. It's because he
Yeah,
likes say. I think that's why he's having
yeah.
problems.
I'd go with the best of for Jim Croce. Yeah, well, you can't go wrong with the best of for him for sure. But if, I think that Don't Mess Around with Jim is a pretty strong album. Okay.
All right. This is an album I guarantee no one watching has heard of. Glenn hasn't even heard of this. No one's heard of this. But it's an interesting album. So it's an album called Rock and Roll Joe. And it's a collaboration between Chip Taylor, John Platania, and Kendall Carson. By way of explanation, Chip Taylor is the guy that wrote Wild Thing and Angel of the Morning. You know those songs. Wild
Hmm.
Thing that the Trogs and Hendrix and everybody did. He's also John Voight, the actor. It's his brother. He owns a label in New York called Trainwreck Records. And so he put this album out. John Platania is Van Morrison's guitar player and has been for 40
Oh yeah,
years.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Know the
And
name.
Kendall Carson is my friend. She's a fiddle player from BC. She plays with Alan Doyle from Great Big Sea. She's been in his
Okay.
band since Great Big Sea broke up. She was signed to Chip's label for a number of years. And this is a collaborative album that the three of them did in honor of sort of the unheard session musicians that play on tons of rock and roll records that no one's ever heard of. And all three of them are session people in and of themselves. So it's a
Wow.
really interesting, it's an interesting album. And
That's
I like
pretty
it
cool.
because
I've never seen that album.
and you wouldn't either unless you are a hardcore fan of one of these people, or
Yeah.
like my case, I'm friends with Kendall. But
Wow.
it's a cool rootsy kind of,
Yeah.
it's a rootsy album. So
Wow. Very cool. I think Jack's saying yes, he would go for a best of Jim Croce. I don't know how to pronounce that first name. Ryuichi
Sakamoto,
Sakamoto
maybe.
and Thomas Dolby Fieldwork. That sounds interesting.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. I don't know where Ryuichi Sakamoto plays. That would be what instrument does he? Bob Seger and Sheena Easton we got tonight. No, that's too wimpy for me.
No thanks.
Bob, you're not my nephew anymore. You see the Wham documentary coming to Netflix? No,
There
and
needs
thank
to
God
be a
I don't
Wham
have.
documentary.
Thank God I don't have Netflix anymore.
Oof.
Did you hear about the cover of the Notorious Bird Brothers album? No. Is this?
No.
Is this? You never know with Dan. I never know if I'm getting set up for some stupid punchline. I'm like Abbott and he's Costello or something. You know. Kenny Rogers, not Bob Seger. Yeah, I think you're right. That was Kenny. Yeah, we got tonight was Kenny Rogers. Yeah, that even makes it worse.
I hope neither one of us is bringing up Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton for any of this.
No, Islands in
Thank
the
God.
Stream. We're not doing that.
No Islands in the Streams?
No.
Good.
Or what's the one with Joe Cocker, too? Who did he do? Oh, he did it with Jennifer Warnes.
Yeah.
Up Where We Belong. That's another
Ugh.
one. Those wimpy ones are bad. And
I'm
I like
sure
both Jennifer Warnes and Joe Cocker. But
Jack will probably like them. It's right up there with Say, Say, Say.
yeah. Okay, so I got to do the exact opposite of all this Kenny Rogers and stuff that's doing. We got to get this down and dirty here. Frank Zappa, Hot Rats, Willie the Pimp, with vocals by Captain Beefheart. Fantastic. It's the only vocal performance on this album, actually. The rest of the album's all instrumental. But great song, great vocals, great guitar, cool song.
I know this will break your heart, Glenn, but I have never listened to a Frank Zappa record.
Well, I don't know what to say. It doesn't break my heart because it's a tough listen.
Yeah, just I wouldn't know where to start, and I don't really feel inclined.
Well, if you feel like starting, Apostrophe would be the one.
Yeah, maybe one of these days.
Yeah, or Overnight Sensation. I'd start with either one of those. They're pretty normal.
I just find if it's too much work, then I'm not interested.
Yeah, see, I'm just at the opposite. I need it to be work, or I'm not interested. If it's too easy, I'm not interested.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You want me to show some, or are we going to do some comments?
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
That's what I'm here
Gene
for.
and Bob look the same. Terrible cover of Rocket Man Elton John did with some big singer makes me want to blow my head off. Terrible cover of Rocket Man Elton John did. Who did he do a cover of with it Rocket Man with?
Some big singer.
Huh. I got the Hot Rats on pink vinyl. Me too, Jack. That's the reissue. It sounds really good. No, that Dua Lipa Elton John Rocket Man is great. That's who it was. Dua Lipa.
Oh, Dua Lipa. Yeah.
David
She can
Crosby.
actually sing reasonably well.
Oh, we're talking about Notorious Bird Brothers? The story is Crosby left and they had a horse in the picture for the album. So McGuinn was asked about it and said if it was a dig at Crosby, the horse would be backwards. Oh.
That horse's ass. That's funny.
Okay.
Which one am I going to? I'm going to show this one next. This is another one of two artists that did an entire album together. And Glenn, if you haven't heard this, you need to. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day and Norah Jones.
I know the album. Yeah. I used to have the CD. I don't have it anymore for some reason.
Foreverly. This is them covering the Everly Brothers' first album, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah. I could never picture, you don't think Green Day and the Everly Brothers, but Billy Joe is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting collaboration. No, you wouldn't think that one would happen.
No.
Okay, my next one is a guy probably no one's ever heard of, Tony Furtado. He's a slide guitar player and a banjo player. Puts out his own albums, and he did an album quite a few years ago, going back to the 90s, and Alison Krauss guested on it, and they did a cover of the Beatles song "I Will."
Oh,
It's absolutely beautiful. It's actually my favorite Beatles cover.
and that's saying a lot because there are thousands of
There are
Beatles
thousands
covers
of
out
them.
there.
It's a beautiful cover version,
Huh.
and yeah, if you ever get a chance to check it out, check it out. But Tony Furtado and Alison Krauss, I will. I think Randy's a big fan of that if he's still watching too.
Interesting.
Okay, anybody else got anything to say? Oh yeah, here we go. That Dua Lipa with Elton is horrible. They took 3 of his songs and made complete nonsense out of them. Harry Belafonte and Nana Muscuri did an album. I can't, I got a lot of respect for Harry Belafonte. I could never do Nana Muscuri. That's weird having a Billy Joel and Billy Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Joe Armstrong
Right.
and Billy Joel Armstrong. Yeah. What's worse, a comedy that ain't funny at all, or a horror flick that isn't scary?
A comedy that ain't funny.
Yeah, comedy that ain't funny.
Even a bad horror movie is still fun because
Yeah,
a bad horror movie ends up being funny.
yeah, true.
A bad comedy just sucks.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing worse than a bad comedy.
Yeah.
And I hope this isn't considered a bad comedy tonight. Here, what we're doing.
I don't know. My hat's pretty funny.
Okay, I'm taking John's comment down because we might be talking about that one later. Oh God, yeah. Oh
Ugh.
yeah. Ugh. We're talking about all the bad collaborations. This is good. Tony
We're supposed
Bennett
to
and
be
Lady
talking
Gaga.
good
I've
ones
never
here,
heard that
folks.
one, but I'm not a crooner guy, so I can't.
Nah, me neither. I can't stand Lady Gaga.
I can't. That's totally out of my wheelhouse. But if people like it, they like it. Chet Atkins and Luna Boyd did a nice album. They did, and Chet Atkins did one with Mark Knopfler too. I think that Dua is a lot better than the Britney Spears one. I don't know what that. Britney Spears did one with Elton.
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it and have no plans to ever hear it. So
Wow, is that recent or that's old when she was
yeah,
young?
no, like within the last 6 months or so, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, we're down to our last 3.
I actually got a few more. I got like 2 more.
Okay,
No, I got like 1, 2, 3. I got 5 more.
okay, that's fine. I think
I
the
had a
Dua Lipa
couple honorable
okay. Oh,
mentions.
we already did that, and I Never Talked to Strangers. Tom Waits and Bette Midler. Yeah, great one, Randy. Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed did some killer guitar albums together. Yes,
Love Jerry
very
Reed.
cool. 2 great guitar players. Okay,
You mentioned your Beatles cover a little while ago. Well, I'm going to show a Beatles collaboration. The Beatles and Tony Sheridan, The Saints.
Oh, that makes
which was the first commercial release that the Beatles ever performed on. They were Tony Sheridan's backing band, and they do all the backing vocals, and you can clearly hear them singing. And it's a great 50s rockin' sort of tune, and it's first time the Beatles were
What
ever.
song did you choose? What song is that?
The Saints.
The Saints. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, when the Saints. Yeah.
So I have it on a 45, but I also have, this is an original first pressing of this. I think this was on Polydor or whatever. This came out in 63 or whatever. So
wow.
There you go. The Beatles with Tony Sheridan.
Got to get the Beatles in.
Of course.
Billy Joel and Ray Charles, Baby Grand. Yeah, that's not a bad tune. Billy Joel was a big Ray Charles. I think he was a big influence on Billy Joel in his early days. And when I sold off all of my audiophile CDs, somebody bought my Ray Charles one. There was the one he did. He collaborated before he died. He collaborated with a whole bunch of people. The whole album's all duets. That's a great record. If I would have had that, I would have shown some. JT's in the house.
There he is. Hey, JT.
Okay, my next one, Mr. D, Bob Dylan, Nashville Skyline. One of the great collaborations. First song on this album, Girl from the North Country with Johnny Cash.
Yep.
Freaking love that version of this song. Johnny and Bob do a great job together on that. So that's my number 3.
Very good.
Here's another Canadian, the Payolas and Carol Pope.
Yeah.
Carol Pope went to my high school.
Really?
Yeah. She was not like I didn't know her or anything. She was couple of years ahead of me, I think.
Nev Campbell went to my high school. The
Wow.
actress. Yeah.
Ruby Starr and Jim Dandy, Black Oak, Arkansas. I don't know that one, but okay.
All right. I got a collaboration here. It's a live thing. This was never for sale. It was a charity thing that you could only get in the newspaper if you lived in England. And this is The Dreams We Have as Children, which is Noel Gallagher from Oasis. It's a concert he did in 2009 at the Royal Albert Hall. It was for the Teenage Cancer Trust in England. And it's an incredible live show. And he does 3 songs on here with Paul Weller.
Oh, wow.
He did The Butterfly Collector.
Canadian Stud Muffin will be looking all excited to hear that.
He did All You Need Is Love. I guess he only did 2 songs. I think it was just those 2. Yeah. All You Need Is Love, which is Beatles cover, and The Butterfly Collector. And it's great. It's, good luck trying to find this. You might be able to find one on eBay. Just in a little, not even really anything. But yeah, it was issued in the Sunday Times, which I guess was a newspaper in London. So Paul Weller and Noel Gallagher.
Very cool. Okay, I got 2 more. Number 2, these are ranked 2 and 1. I think one of the great collaborations and great album, Peter Gabriel's So album. Don't Give Up. John from Music Talk with John already mentioned it. Don't Give Up with Kate Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic vocal performance. Absolutely love that song. That's a great album too.
Yeah.
That's my second favorite. What anybody saying here? Bette Midler and Buckets of Rain are her songs for the new Depression album. I don't know that one. I love that Dylan song. 2 people no one cares about from the Spoons went to my high school.
Yeah. I always love that there's people in a band no one cares about. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's great, eh? I couldn't name any of the Spoons.
No, me neither.
There was Teaspoon and Tablespoon.
Right.
That's pretty cool that you get that from the newspaper.
Yeah. The CD that I was showing. Unfortunately, I didn't get it from the newspaper. I had to eBay it. But
again, Rice Peanut Butter Cups are the greatest collab ever. Yeah. My wife's got a nut allergy, and I know your son does. So we don't have peanut butter in our house.
I haven't had one in a decade. So.
Yeah. Jump. Oh yeah, that's a great one. Randy.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. Reese Great Duo. Or
yes.
Elaine Crane. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Jack's going to steal my thunder here. High in the Mountain. I don't know that, but I'm a big Marty Stewart fan. I don't know too much about Pam Tillis. I know she's Mel's daughter.
That would be in Sam's wheelhouse. I'm sure he'd know all about
I'm sure
that.
It would be.
But Sam feels like he has more important things to do than be on here.
Yeah, like he's in the Smoky Mountains right now or something.
He's at Dollywood. Like, come on.
Yeah. Dollywood. He'd rather go to Dollywood on vacation than spend time with us.
I don't get it. And your birthday celebration.
I know. He's not. I don't know. He's starting to show his true colors.
He's not had a lot of dedication for this lately.
Yeah, and like I had to give him a hard time last week. Oh, on Larry's chat, and then he laughed. I don't know if you saw that. We did a chat with Larry a couple of weeks ago, and I was slamming Sam. So he had tickets to see Dead and Company, right?
Right.
And he got the tickets back in like January, February, and the show was about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And from the time he got the 2 tickets, I must have said to him 1,000 times, I'm dying to see these guys. They don't come to Canada. If you got no one else to go with, I will drive down and go to the show with you.
Right.
I must have asked him 100 times. And he was kind of non-committal. So he never would say, yeah, great idea. Come on down. Right. Never once, which I was hoping he'd say. But he never said no. The ticket was spoken for. So I'm going, okay, how often do you ask a guy before you just kind of wait until your move, right?
Right.
He never said anything. And then all of a sudden he comes on the day after the show and does a review of the show. And he says he went by himself. He couldn't find anybody to go to the show with.
Samuel, if you were watching this, shame on you. That's
Well done,
terrible.
isn't it? Yeah, and now he stands us up tonight too.
I don't know. Maybe,
2 strikes.
I don't know.
What are you
Yeah, I
gonna
agree. 2 strikes.
do?
Good
We love you,
Lord.
Sam. Just kidding.
All right. This may have been mentioned a wee while ago by, I think, one Mr. Strickler. I think. This is a twofer. So Stevie Nicks Belladonna.
Mhm.
So you get Stop Dragging My Heart Around, which she did with Tom Petty. And you get Leather and Lace that she did with Don Henley. Both awesome covers.
The only reason I didn't pick it because I knew you would.
Yeah.
And both of those covers are awesome.
Yes.
2 top 10 covers of all time for me.
This whole album is absolutely phenomenal.
It is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those covers. This is another one that was disappointing for me. The same reason that Ebony and Ivory is disappointing to me. This should have been so much better. This is a very weak song that's on the Clapton album, No Reason to Cry. And I was excited when I found out Dylan was going to guest on a Clapton album, and it's a really weak song. Reese with Her Spoon, a great collab.
Reese Witherspoon. Dan's being a smartass.
Witherspoon, yeah. Dan's.
I mean, who doesn't love a little Reese Witherspoon?
He disappears for about 10 minutes, and I think he's sitting there going, okay, I got to come up with some lines.
I got to come up with something.
John Anderson and John and Vangelis, yes. Happy birthday to me. Thanks, John. Anybody mention Robert Plant and Alison Krauss?
No.
No, but thank you for mentioning. Beverly Hills came to Hooterville and hung out at Green Acres and Video Junction.
Yeah. Hey, there's Dan again.
Marvin Gaye and CCR. Well, yeah, but they didn't collaborate on those.
They didn't collaborate. They just both did
It's a Marvin Gaye song. I don't know if Marvin Gaye wrote it, though.
I don't know, but CCR's version is vastly superior.
Glad Like the Pips did it too, right?
The CCR version is vastly superior.
Killer. Yeah, but it's not a collaboration, but they both covered. Right. Okay, I'm down to number 1 here, and Jack, our buddy Jack, mentioned it. Stole My Thunder. Best collaboration ever. One of my all-time favorite Zeppelin songs. Battle of Evermore off of.
Oh yeah.
Zeppelin 4. Sandy Denny. What a great singer she is, and what a great performance on this. Oh, just freaking love it. That's my absolute favorite cover.
Nice. Very nice. Can't argue with that. All right.
Okay, you're carrying the show. I'm just going to sit back here and watch.
All right. I only have 2 more.
Well, take your time.
And one of them, I don't know if it counts. So, my favorite my favorite collaborative song, U2 and BB King, When Love Comes to Town.
I thought you might pick that one.
It's
pretty
BB
good.
King, right? And it's my favorite U2 album. I don't know what more to say. It's a great video. It's a great song. There you go.
I won't argue with you. I like it.
And then the last one I have, does a live album with a whole ton of guests count as a collaboration?
Who am I to argue?
All right.
I'm too old to argue.
Could you guess what it might be?
That's no. Paul McCartney? I don't know. Oh, the band. Oh, there we go.
I mean,
a couple of studio tracks.
There are, they did Evangeline with
Evangeline's a studio
Emmylou
track.
Harris, and
that's was a studio track, although it's not on there.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, like probably Jack doesn't know this, the band, who Glenn and I love immensely, it was essentially their farewell concert, unbeknownst to them at the time, and they had a ton of guests come and play with them. Paul Butterfield, Eric Clapton, Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, Emmylou Harris, Ronnie Hawkins, Dr. John, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, The Staples, Ringo Starr, Muddy Waters, Ron Wood, and Neil Young. That's a collaboration if there ever was one.
Yeah.
And I think the greatest live album ever.
Yes. I won't argue with that. That's a great pick. And that's it? That was your number 1?
That's all I got.
Oh, I see. He was talking about the collaboration. Randy's straightening us out here. Gladys Knight did the song first. I didn't realize that.
I did not.
And it wasn't written by Marvin. Okay.
It's a good thing we got a fact
One of
checker.
those Holland Dozier Holland tunes, maybe from the Hit Factory there at Motown. Yeah, somebody mentioned that earlier. I don't mind that collab. Does Macca singing almost distinct vocals with Steve Miller on? Oh, no, I don't. It does count, but I'm not a Steve Miller fan in that.
You know what collaboration we both forgot about, and I'm ashamed. And if Sam was here, he would have done it. The Traveling Wilburys.
Ooh, yeah. I think that might have been Sam's number one.
It should have been my number one.
Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island. How did they get off the island?
Who knows?
They need to do a reissue of the Rattle and Hum film.
I'd like them to do a whole big giant box set of that.
Never heard a band song in my life, if you can believe
Jack.
that. I will. Yeah, what the heck's wrong with you?
Jack, 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 Jack.
Yeah. You've never heard The Weight?
You got to hear The Weight. It's give you two recommendations. If you don't want to listen to The Last Waltz, which is a live album, you either got to look for their first album, which is called Music from Big Pink, or you got to look for their second album, which is the self-titled album, also called the Brown Album. Phenomenal. Absolutely. The Weight or Up on Cripple Creek. Wow.
I'll wait till I hear The Weight.
Oh, it's
weight. The weight, no, it's not that kind of weight. It's
WEIGHT.
That kind of weight, lifting it up. Oh, it was written by Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong. Now, Barrett Strong had the first hit record ever on Motown, and it was a Beatles cover as well. Do you know what song that would have been?
No.
Money.
Oh.
The best things in life.
Yeah, I know.
Barrett Strong. That was the first hit record ever from Motown label.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Tell me I'm right, Randy. Because he's going to say I'm an idiot. What did I do the other day? I did a video and I was sure I was talking about Elvis Costello. And I was saying, I remember it like it was yesterday. Elvis Costello in the Grammys in the late 70s up for Best New Artist. And I am, in my head, I am absolutely positive he's competing against Christopher Cross. Remember that guy sailing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And I'm thinking Christopher Cross won. And how could Elvis?
Didn't Christopher Cross do like Lady in Red or something?
No, that wasn't.
No, that was Christopher.
No, that was another guy. Real winning guy.
I'm going to Google this. But carry on with your story. I'm listening.
So anyway, I do this video and I put it up and I told this story and everything, and then I get 90 comments underneath. It wasn't Christopher Cross, and then I look it up. It wasn't. It was there was a bunch of other. Taste of Honey or something won it. I was totally wrong, but it's not the way I remember it. The Highwaymen, yeah, great.
Yes.
What about Great Gig in the Sky? I guess that works. Who was the female vocalist on that? I can't remember what her name was. That wasn't Mary Clayton, right? I almost used Mary Clayton with Gimme Shelter off of Let It Bleed, too. You are right. Norman Whitfield wrote some of the Temptations' more psychedelic songs.
Love the Temptations.
Me too. Olivia Newton. Yeah, Elton John's sister. Did you know they were related?
No.
Yeah, they're sister and brother.
Oh, how about that? Yes, I just figured that out, Bob. Krista Bird did Lady in Red.
Yeah, that was Xanadu.
They're both Chris's from the 80s, and they both sucked. So
yeah, Krista Berg. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was wimpy. The Ventures and Bobby V. Could be. How about Frankie and Annette? They must have done something. Oh, yeah, Carlos and... Oh, and there was the other one that was a huge hit for Carlos Santana when he had Rob
Thomas. Smooth.
Oh, my God. That song was
That was a great song. I mean, Matchbox 20 is shit, but that was a good song.
Yeah. CSNY, well, they're more of a band.
That's not really a collaboration. They're a band that had many studio albums, or several studio albums.
Yeah. But, yeah. Wow. We got no more. Oh, that's cool. That was fun.
that was and when I was going through, I had like 30 records pulled. So I'm like, well, how do I narrow it down to the top 10 or 12? So there was a lot more, but
I pulled 10 pretty quickly. I was surprised because I
yeah, I
didn't
did
get
too.
till late this afternoon. I think it was like 5 o'clock, and I went, "Oh, I better pull some." And I didn't have a clue, and then I just went, "Whoop, bang, bang, bang!" I grabbed 10. I probably
I,
could have found more.
I did mine 20 minutes before we went live.
Wow,
My son was in the bath before bed. I'm like, all right, I got 5 minutes to go pull records.
wow.
So
So, and you're still going crazy.
it's a little better now because I've hired 2 guys,
Oh, okay.
and the first one
But
started
don't
this
you have to
week.
train them?
Well, not really because they
They don't
actually
do that.
used to work. They worked for one of my distributors,
Oh, okay, so they know
and I
the
and I
product.
poached them. I took their top 2 sales guys.
Oh, nice.
Well, there's a lot of internal politics going on there, so
Yeah,
um, it wasn't my choice to poach from my distributor. That was came from higher up the food chain, and I was told take the
yeah.
best too.
That's
So
always sensitive to do that.
it is,
That
but
one too.
they poached 6 people from us over the course of 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's yeah. Then they don't need to be
corporate kind of said, screw them. They need to be taught a lesson. So
Randy is saying, "Have a great birthday. Adios." Thanks so much, Randy. Take
thanks,
care, buddy,
Randy.
and let me know when you're coming to Ontario. Randy said he's coming up in late August.
Oh, cool.
Give me the dates, buddy. I got to try and work around him if I can.
Where's he coming? Like Toronto or
I think he mentioned before that he was coming to the Ottawa area,
that's too
but
far.
I'd meet him halfway. It's not too bad for me. A couple hours, I could meet him. I'd do that. Although
What's Ottawa for you? Like 4 hours? It's
probably
6 for
3.
me.
I'm thinking 3.
Yeah, it's 6 for
Yeah,
me. So
yeah. Marvin Gaye and the hits keep coming here, and Tammy
there's
Terrell.
more.
Steven Stills, Mike Bloom. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a great collab. Yeah. Wonder if Randy will go see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks when they come to Kansas City. I don't know. Are you going, Jack? I don't think Jack's been to a concert yet. I think he tell us that last week?
I think so. Yeah.
You should be the one going. Wow. You watching any TV? You watch much TV?
Not a lot. I haven't had a lot of time. I mean, watch a lot of Blue Jays, which is
Oh yeah,
not.
I watched. Oh, you had probably worked today. I watched the game today.
I didn't see it today, but
Yeah.
they needed a win after the last, like especially that 11-0 routing a few days ago,
Well, what's getting me is they seem to come out like gangbusters, like they did it against Texas the other day. They're up 6-0.
and they blew it.
Then they just sit back. They don't get another run. And they did that today too. Quite. It was 5-0. Then I'm watching. Oh no, 5-2, 5-3. Here we go. And then lucky Chapman, I think, got the 6th run there on a home run.
I was reading somewhere the other day that the Jays so far this season have left something like 538 men on base,
Yeah, it's insane.
more than any team.
Yeah. I'll tell you,
It's horrible.
it's Vladdy Guerrero. If he doesn't, he stirs the whole drink there. If he's not performing, like he's striking out, double plays, like he's
Yeah, it's
struggling at the plate.
I mean, and our pitching is an issue, and
yeah,
not the starters aren't too bad. It's the worst part is our middle relievers. We don't have
yeah,
anybody anymore.
yeah.
So I don't know. So no, I haven't been watching a lot of
Baseball
TV.
go with Canada baseball, or are they all the same? No, it's
What does that mean?
well, I mean, Canada has one team in the league, which is North American, really. We used
Right.
to have 2, or we used to, well, never at the same time, but Montreal had a team and Toronto had a team. But it's American baseball. We don't have our own league. Although if you're playing like the World Baseball Cup or whatever they call it,
World Baseball
Canada
Classic.
represents itself. There are a lot of Canadians who play Major League Baseball. Did anyone mention Mike Reno and Ann Wilson together?
No.
Well, interesting. I don't know if I've heard that. I went to my first Mets game since before COVID on Sunday. Of course, they lost.
I haven't. I mean, I'm a huge baseball fan. I haven't been to a game in 10 years.
I'm going Saturday.
Are you?
Yeah, my first one. That's my birthday gift from my family. They're taking me to the ball game.
Who are they playing?
Oakland.
Eh,
But, I don't care who they're playing. I just
who
want to go
cares?
and soak up the atmosphere and see a game.
Yeah, you got good seats or what?
Yeah, second level.
Oh, I love the 200s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think they're the best seats in the house,
yeah.
honestly.
Me too. Yeah, I'm happy with.
I got a buddy of mine who's a commercial real estate agent in Toronto, and he knows somebody, and he can get those. You know the green TD seats right behind
Oh
home
yeah,
plate.
yeah.
He can get those.
I had a friend. I've had a few people I know that have sat there, but
So he said to me, he goes, "Let me know later this summer when you got some time." He says, "I'll get the seats. We'll go to a game." So
yeah.
whenever it is, I'll let you know, and I'll wave to you on TV.
So I had a work friend who went, and he says all night long, all he's getting is text messages from his buddies going, "Have another hot dog, you pig!" Like they're all watching on TV. Have another beer. Have
Oh,
another
I
hot
can
dog.
imagine.
Shove some more food down your throat.
Yeah, I want to meet the home plate lady.
Take your finger out of your nose.
Yeah.
That's too close to being on TV all the time.
Speak and this is music related. He's not there anymore, but for years and it up until last year, the guy that used to sit in the second row behind home plate, 4 seats over to the right, he would always have a dark shirt on and a baseball cap, and he'd always be keeping score. Was Geddy Lee from Rush? He
Yeah,
had season tickets there
he's a
for
huge baseball fan.
yeah. He was always there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen him at all this year.
I haven't seen him this year, but I think he's busy. He wrote his autobiography, and I think he's kind of getting that ready to go, and he'll probably be doing some book signings
Yeah,
and yeah, but yeah, he's Geddy Lee's always there. He's a huge collector of baseball memorabilia.
yeah.
No,
No,
we're Blue Jays fans.
come on, Jack.
Yeah, the Expos.
I miss the Expos.
I saw the Expos play live quite a few times.
There's been a lot of talk of Tampa Bay relocating to Montreal. I don't
They
think it'll
should.
happen.
They
They
should.
should.
They got the best team in baseball, and they draw 10,000 people to a game.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They got the shittiest stadium, but it's never
It's not
Montreal
that
won't.
bad. I was there
Montreal won't
last
get it.
year. I was quite impressed with it, actually.
Really, it looks like shit on
Not that
TV.
bad.
Really,
It's a think of the Sky Dome, but a much more intimate. Like it's not
really,
as big as the Sky Dome. It's not cavernous.
right?
It doesn't come across that you're in some big, like, I don't know if you ever went to the Big O in Montreal. I mean, that was
No.
insane. The Jays will score a ton of runs against Oakland. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, that depends. Our offense is feast or famine. It's
Yeah.
all or nothing.
I said that to Lynn. I'm going, well, if we go to the game, we should see the Jays win like 14-2 or something. If there's a
Or score not a single run.
Ozzie and Lita Ford. I don't know about that one.
I don't know either.
You hear that Paul was at the Super Bowl. Yeah, he goes to the Super Bowl every year. He played a halftime show, right?
Yep.
Believe it or not, Blue Jays talk is all over Vancouver sports.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are Canadian, kind of Canada's team, right?
I love when the Jays play in Seattle.
Yeah,
And the fans from BC just invade. It looks like a home game.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's very
But
cool.
that's what happens when there's one team for an entire country.
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
you going to do?
yeah. It's too bad it's that way, but it is.
Next time I used to go out to Vancouver occasionally. If I ever go out there for work again, I want to catch a Vancouver Canadians game.
Good night, John.
Night,
Good to
John.
see you as well.
You're going to bed early.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going for a walk.
No, I was asking you about TV because I just hooked up Crave because
So how is that? The wife and I have been talking about maybe.
no, the only reason I'm paying $20 a month for it, but I only got it because there's a couple of things on there that we're dying to see. And one is there's a documentary now on the Barry Sherman.
the Sherman murder.
Sherman's
Yeah,
murder,
yeah.
which if anybody doesn't know, that they're billionaires from Toronto. Barry Sherman owned Apotex, which is one of the largest generic pharmaceutical companies in the world. Him and his wife got murdered. They first said it was a suicide, and it's a whodunit now.
They got murdered like execution style in their house.
Style.
Yeah.
And the cops tried to say it was a suicide.
Yeah.
At first, for months.
Yeah.
Until they finally were convinced that by everyone else who knew it was a murder that it was a murder.
Oh,
And
it was
anyway,
absolute.
there's a great documentary on Crave. That's the reason we signed up.
Okay.
And it's
It was
they've shown 2
absolutely
parts
it
already.
was absolutely a hit. Like, it was a paid for hit,
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
something yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
pissed off somebody wrong in the industry or whatever, but
yeah,
yeah, that's like Canada's most famous unsolved murder.
yeah, yeah,
And
it's
that
pretty
was
crazy.
only, what, 10 years
5
ago,
years
maybe?
ago, 6 I think 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, yeah, anyway, you can hook up Crave, like, phone your cable distributor or whatever and hook it up, and they'll charge you $20 a month, but if you only hooked it up for a week,
I don't have
then
cable.
oh,
I have, so I've got some streaming apps, and then I've got an IPTV service,
okay.
so it's like TV over internet.
Wow. I like when the Royals won the World Series, so school was canceled. Yeah, that's always good. I imagine no, school wasn't canceled when the Jays won the World Series.
I skipped school to watch it.
You guys have your all-time 5 records right now on the spot? Yes.
Yeah. You go first.
Sergeant Pepper, Blonde on Blonde, In the Court of the Crimson King, Aqualung, and five's always a little tough. Hand Cannot Erase by Stephen Wilson.
All right. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis. U2's Rattle and Hum. The Last Waltz by the band. And oh boy.
Blue Rodeo? No?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Days in Between by Blue Rodeo.
Wow, there we go.
Five's always tough because there's like I could say that, but then what about this one and what about this one? So
How
five's
about you,
always tough.
Dan? Type out your top 5 for us. You know, I was surprised that Married Children could still be shown on TV in this day and age, and really surprised. Yeah, I guess it. Well, I mean, it's the same with probably All in the Family or any of those older shows that were a little, you know, before the age of political correctness, I guess. Buck Owens and Ringo Starr do and Act Naturally. Sergeant Pepper, yes. Dark Side, number 1. Led Zeppelin 4. Oh, he's doing his whole list here. Dark Side, Led Zeppelin 4. There's 3. Abbey Road. If someone
And
stole
who?
all your record CDs, what is the first album you're going to replace? Well, you know what's interesting is when I sold all my records off, and then Zap Records in Coburg had a fundraising event for Christmas time, and they gave away. You ever see those project turntables with George
Yes.
Harrison's face on them?
Yeah.
They're giving one of those away, and the more it was like a food drive thing.
Right.
So every time you brought food in, you got to put a name. And I wanted this fucking turntable. Excuse my language, so bad. And I don't know how much money I spent on food, but I was bringing in tons of it. And I won the turntable.
You could have bought the turntable.
I could have bought the turntable. So I won the turntable, and the first record I bought was George Harrison's "All Things Must Pass." So I can't answer that question.
I mean, I guess for me it's Sergeant Pepper because it's my favorite of all time.
That would probably be my first one too if I had to do it again.
Yeah.
Abbey Road, that's his 5th.
I'm curious James's age. I mean, he picked a lot of older records, so he's
And
got to
who's
be
next? Yeah, he's got all the classics.
He's got to be like in his 40s, I would imagine. How old are you, James?
Rattle and Hum, it's their peak.
Yeah.
Dan still hasn't given us his list of 5, even though he asked the question. Where's the table now? I sold that turntable and bought a better turntable.
James is 54. Okay, that sounds about
Mr.
right.
Nolan's with us.
I love Rubber Soul. For a long time, that was my favorite album of all time.
James, 54. What is that?
I asked him how old he was because I was curious based on his picks. I figured he'd be. I'm 45, so I figured he would be, my age or older.
There we go. Here's Dan's. Are you a?
Might be a Zepp fan.
I think he might be a Zepp fan. So Larry Graves lent me this. We're doing the CD exchanges, right?
Right.
And he gave me 5 CDs. And one he gave me, I was so freaking impressed with, and I didn't know I'd even like this band that much. Golden Earring.
Oh yeah.
Dan mentioned him. The album's called To the Hilt.
Right.
It's fantastic. I'm looking for it. I
Nice.
looked on Amazon to see if I could buy the CD. It wasn't available.
Huh.
So I'm on the lookout for it. But they were. I was really impressed. I just knew the hit song, whatever they did. What was their big hit? They
Cool.
did a cover of something.
Was that like Golden? Wasn't that Radar Love? I think was their first.
Maybe.
Big...
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. First record I bought when I started collecting was Mystery Girl. That's Roy Orbison, right?
I think so.
Wow.
I can't remember what the first record I mean, I remember the first records I got were liberated from my dad's collection. I can't remember what the first one I remember my first CD, but I know what my first vinyl record was. It might have been Rattle and Hum, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I have a hard time remembering my first vinyl record, because it would have been, I think it was just pre-Beatles, like 63. I probably bought like a Gene Pitney album or something, but
or maybe
mostly it was early Beatle records are the ones that I remember the most.
Maybe my first was Octung Baby, because I was just getting into music when that came out, and I bought an original first pressing at Sam the Record Man just after it came out. So it might have been that one.
Wow. My first CD, I think, my first CD player I bought in 1984. And I think it was John Cougar's American Fool. That was out then. I'm pretty sure that was the first one I bought.
I remember when my dad bought our first CD player was about 1988 or 89, maybe. And the first CD that he bought, the first time I ever heard a CD, was Abbey Road. And then the first CD that I bought was Clapton's Unplugged.
Not a bad one. My first CD bought was Inside Information by Foreigner. There's two.
I love that someone as young as Jack, the first CD he's bought is Foreigner. That's great.
Yeah.
Which would be an oldie to him.
Yeah. To the Hilt is a killer album with grooves galore. Yeah, it's a really good album. Radar Love and Twilight Zone was their big hits. I don't remember Twilight Zone, Michael, but Radar Love was a big hit. There. The first record I got was the Beatles 67-70. I think a lot of people, that would be like a first Beatles album for sure.
Yeah.
Those were huge hits, those albums, when they came out.
I've got both those on colored vinyl.
First record was Edward Bear, Last Song album. Wow, that's when Edward Bear got wimpy. My first CD was Abbey Road. I bought that with Bruce Springsteen's Tunnel of Love on vinyl. Is it weird that I keep going back to those Beatles box sets that have only the American CDs? I love those as much as the British releases. Yeah, I've got both those volume 1 and
Me too.
2. Do you have those too?
Yeah, I don't listen to them at all.
I don't listen to them either. I just have them because they're kind of a novelty.
Yeah.
But you have all the vinyl, though, from all those North American releases, don't you?
I do. I have all first pressings of all of the Canadian first pressings.
Wow.
So I have, and they're the North American ones. And then
I have those too.
I have almost all UK first pressings. I think I'm missing 3.
So you got the original Capitol label and everything on them.
Yeah.
Wow. And they're all in good shape?
Some of them are flawless. Like my copy of Help from 65 looks like it's never been played. And I have them all in mono and stereo.
Oh wow. I've got Something New, and I've got Beatles 6 and Beatles 65. I think they're the only ones I have.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm always kind of on the lookout for them. I would love to get Twist and Shout because it's a Canadian one, and they were the first 2 records really that.
Yep.
I went out and bought, like that seriously bought, was Beatlemania and Twist and Shout.
My Beatlemania copy that I have is my dad's, and he bought it when it came out in late 64.
Yeah.
And he wrote his name in the top corner. And other than that, It is in absolutely pristine shape.
Really, my Beatle records were in horrible shape. I played them and played them and played them and played them on like the worst record players you could ever imagine. I mean, they were just complete scratch garbage.
All my original Canadian first pressings are all really good condition. All my UK first pressings are VG at best, only because to get an original UK first pressing of something that's in good shape is we're talking hundreds of
Yeah,
dollars at this point.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'll settle for rough copies. So,
Do you think there's a difference in sound quality? I mean, I know the historic value of having a first pressing, and I'm just talking about Canadian releases, like when you got the orange label and the purple labels. Do you
I
think
don't know. I'm not enough of an expert to say.
yeah,
What I like about the first two Canadian ones, Twist and Shout and Beatlemania with the Beatles, which were not released in the US. What I really like about those is those were pressed from the same master tapes that the original UK Please Please Me and With the Beatles were from the same master tape. So the sound quality in those is exceptional. Then after that, they were forced to do what Capital US was doing. So it was all the added reverb and shit,
yeah.
which I don't really like. So, but beyond that, I don't know the difference whether those 70s pressing sounds better or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I
not.
have I just wanted first pressings I listened to them,
Yeah.
but also those were the originals, and something about having that original historical artifact means something to me. So
One day I'd like to buy them, but I don't know.
I was thankful that when I started collecting in the 90s, they weren't that hard to find and they were
Yeah,
pretty cheap. So,
yeah,
because at that time they were only, 25, 30 years old. So now they're 60 years old.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like if I go and spend like $50 or whatever for a Twist and Shout record,
Oh, you could find that
and it kind of
relatively.
just sits there, and I don't really play. I just want it because I want it, and
Well, and that's what I am with the UK ones. Like I have the mono remasters,
yeah,
and they're wonderful. And that's those are what I listen to,
yeah,
even though those are stupid expensive. But I want the original UK ones because that's the record that came out in their home country at the time.
yeah.
I just want them because I want them. Um, and the problem is the couple that I need are expensive. I mean, they're all expensive, but
Which
I've
ones
looked at.
are you missing?
I need Yellow Submarine, and I need White Album. Let It Be an No, I've got Abbey Road, so it's just White Album, Yellow Submarine, and Let It Be, and I've got everything else.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've got original first pressing of Please Please Me, and oh my
Yeah,
god.
technically, so third pressing of Please Please Me. So,
Okay.
um,
Because they started changing the wording around the
so
trim of the label, right?
the original first pressing of Please Please Me came out in February of '63, and it's a very short pressing run and has the gold Parlophone label.
Yeah.
Same with the second pressing, which came out in March of '63, and there were only I don't know 20 or 30,000 copies made because the Beatles weren't anything when those came out, and those are thousands of dollars. And then the third pressing came out in May of '63, so 3 months later, and that's the one that I've got.
Yeah.
Everything else I've got are first pressings.
Wow.
Yeah, but my Please Please Me I still consider to be an original because it
Well,
was
yeah.
3 months later. So
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Man. So are the White Album, that'd be the one with the serial number on it?
yeah,
And top loader,
and it's
right?
a top loader. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do not have it. I mean I have obviously the mono remaster, and I have a Canadian first pressing, and I have a US numbered first pressing, but I don't have a UK first press of that. But the one that I enjoyed the most is when I got my original Sergeant Pepper UK first pressing, and I put it on, and there's a few crackles because there's a
Mono
few
or
scratches.
stereo?
I've got the mono one. I
Okay.
tried to do all. I have all monos except for Help, which is I have in stereo. Um, and I put on my original UK Sergeant Pepper. I just sat there and turned the lights off and just listened to it, and I enjoyed that experience because that's a landmark album,
Yeah.
and I'm listening to the original pressing from their home country, and to me that it wasn't. I don't know whether it sounded any better or not, but it was just something about that experience that I particularly enjoyed.
And so in 1967, I just had a mono record player, and I would buy mono records.
Yeah,
And that's Sergeant Pepper in mono to me was all I heard
I
from
preferred. I pref-
67 till probably, I don't think I bought a stereo version of that record till probably the 72 or 73. And I prefer the mono, and only because that's the way I heard the album.
I
But a
prefer
lot
the
of people like
mono.
the stereo.
I prefer the mono because those were the mixes that the Beatles were involved in, and
Yeah.
so was George Martin,
And
and
the
they
mix
took
is a little
weeks to
different
do
in
them.
spots, right?
Yeah, whereas the stereo ones were just handed off to an engineer and they were done in a day. They were a
Yeah.
throwaway.
Yeah.
So I want the ones that the band participated
And
in.
they panned the stereo so
Yeah,
badly. Like it's just, you can actually turn your right channel off and just get all vocals, or turn your left channel and get all
right.
guitar. You don't even hear the vocal. It's
Yep,
crazy how
yep.
they need to send. I would love to see someone remaster those and center them or remix them, I guess,
Yeah,
and and just make it a nice sound stage when you're listening to it. But
yeah,
yeah, that's the stereo separation is so extreme.
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
What's the peanut gallery have to say?
Brothers in Arms and Tug of War with Whitney Houston's first album were my first CDs. Oh wow, Whitney Houston. Michael, what happened to you? Brothers in Arms and Tug of War. Yeah, they're great. Which one of those albums doesn't belong in that mix? It seems like.
Right? My wife has some
No
Whitney
offense for
Houston, and I
Whitney.
just go, good Lord.
She was a monster star. There's no doubt about it. Get Switched by Golden Earring. Okay, I will try and listen to that because I'm kind of finding out I might be a Golden Earring fan.
Are you going to get a golden earring?
No,
Good.
my wife won't let me. I was going to get an earring for in honor of my granddaughter's birth. I was going to
Oh,
get her
yeah.
an earring with her birthstone in it.
Well, get one in your nose, and then the wife can put a chain on there and just lead you around.
Yeah. She could do that. Well, she just sticks fingers up the nostril and just goes like that and carries me around. So. First record was Kiss, Love Gun. Well, Dan, we won't hold that against you. We'll let you come back next week. Masters, Apprentices, and Golden Earring. Masters, Apprentices. I'm not sure what that means. You?
Nope.
We need an explanation, BP. Is that Boston Pizza? Is Boston?
I can go. Let's go to Boston Pizza. I'll meet you there.
Yeah. Collaboration that could have happened. Miles Davis. Yes.
Yeah.
I just read a book on Miles Davis. It's actually his autobiography. I've read other books before on Miles Davis. This is the first time I've read his autobiography, and he talks a lot about Jimi Hendrix in there. And Jimmy was hanging out. Like Miles would go play in a club, and Jimmy'd be at his house waiting for him to come home.
Can you imagine?
And Miles was like, they were close to doing something. And there's one story, Miles Davis, because obviously jazz musicians, everything know music inside out, and he would leave music for Jimi Hendrix, all this intricate music, and he'd write it all out, all the notes and stuff, and leave it, and then he'd come back, and Jimmy'd be at his house, and he'd go, Jimmy, did you check that out? And he goes, I don't know how Jimi Hendrix going. I don't know how to read music. You think I'm an idiot? And so then he kind of laughed at him that that Jimi Hendrix was such a great musician, but he didn't.
I couldn't read music.
How to read music, and he said, but he'd catch on real fast once I started playing it for him and teaching it to him. Like he'd catch it. But
wow,
yeah, they were really close. That would have been amazing. Do you have the baby cover of the Beatles, Rob? If so, can you show it?
I do. There are very few Beatles records I do not have.
Do you have a peeled and an unpeeled?
Yes. No, I don't have an unpeeled. Mine's a third state mono, and it's in rough shape, but there it is.
Yeah. Wow.
Third state mono butcher cover.
I had one. I sold it for $400.
I bought this for around $200.
Yeah.
It was my holy grail for a very long time. This was from the plant in Los Angeles. So
Hold on a second.
I've only ever seen one other one in person, and the guy wanted over $1,000 for it.
I've seen a few of them. Hold on. I don't know if this will work or not. Bear with me.
You want me just to do a little dance here or shake my
Yeah.
funny hat?
Yeah, do a funny dance. What the hell happened to it? I have a picture of my butcher cover here somewhere.
Jack's asking if I ever play that record. No, I don't, Jack, because the record is fairly scratched. And I generally don't play. I don't play many of the North American albums. I do have it on CD if I ever want to listen to it as part of the Capitol
Damn,
Records.
I can't find it.
Oh no, that isn't in the Capitol Records box.
No.
I don't have it on CD. No, I don't listen to it because I just listen to the normal studio albums.
Damn, how did I lose that? I had a picture I took of my butcher cover, and now I can't find it.
I can't believe you sold it.
Yeah, that was stupid. But I need money.
Took me 20 years to find. I got this about 8 or 9 years ago. It took me 20 years to find one.
Mine was peeled. It was a stereo. I think.
I'm kind of glad I have a peeled one. I don't want to set. So for folks that don't know, a first state is one that's never had the slick applied to it. A second state has the slick applied to it, but has not been peeled. And then the third state, the slick has been peeled off. Yeah. I'm kind of glad it's peeled because if I've got a butcher cover, I want to see the butcher cover.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, that said, if I were to ever stumble across a second...
It'd be nice to have one of each.
Yeah, it would be nice, yeah.
So you could look at
True. But you can't really appreciate a second state because...
No.
At first glance, it just looks like a normal trunk cover.
And to tell you the truth, I have a really hard time seeing... They always say you can see Ringo's turtleneck. That's how you can tell. I can never see it.
You can. If you've got it, it's there. You know.
I don't know. I looked at one. I'm going. I had a really hard time. Golden earring, get the wall of dolls all the way to grab it for a second. So that's 970. Wow, I'm. You guys are killing me here with this golden earring. I have another golden earring on vinyl. It's called Moon Glow, I think, or Moon Tan, or Moon. Is that golden earring? I think I have that one too. Show and tell. Oh, I thought you had something else.
I do when we get there in the comments.
Oh, okay. I have North American Beatles albums, all early 80s pressings in stereo. They're all the purple.
Well, in the early 80s, they reissued them on the Rainbow Capitol label.
Did they?
But they were pressed with different masters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So the purple Capitals were late 70s.
Yeah. I did not know that they repressed them.
And the early 70s was the orange Capitol.
Yeah. They say purple Capitals are the best sounding in there before digital as well.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, that's true.
I have original first pressing of Rush's first album on Moon Records. Wow. That's pretty cool. How can you tell how old vinyl is? By the the labels.
Use Discogs.
Yeah.
And look up the listing, and then there'll be various versions, and you'd have to check what version the label is, and then there'll be a matrix number, which is either stamped or written in the dead wax outside the label, and you can cross-reference that.
Now with the Beatles, there are extensive websites.
Oh yeah,
that show all the different labels and everything. Yeah. Just Google Beatles history of Beatles labels, and you'll see all of them. Like there's some really cool free sites that'll give you the whole history of it.
If you haven't checked out Discogs, Jack, that's the best resource there is for anything vinyl.
I was going to do a video on how much I hate Discogs.
I did a video on how much I like Discogs about 6 months ago.
Rob, do you have the yellow vinyl of Yellow Submarine?
Absolutely, I do.
Jack, the matrix numbers in the center will tell you which pressing.
There you go.
What do I look for on those numbers?
Well, what you would do, Jack. So let's say you had a record, whatever it is. You pull up the listing for it on Discogs, and whatever version you've pulled up on Discogs, under the notes, it'll say for this pressing, the matrix number is, and it'll give you a whatever the number is. And it's different for every record, and there's no standard format. It's whatever the record labels decided to use. And if that's not the number, then you got to check another pressing and just keep going until you find the right
And a
matrix
lot of times
number.
with Beatles, without the matrix, there's also like around the outside of the label, it would always written subsidiary of
Yeah,
Parlophone EMI or whatever, and sometimes that wording would change too
yeah,
for each pressing.
yeah.
And what's the Magic Wizard to original? Oh, that's supposed to be. Do you have that?
So I said there's not a very few Beatles records I don't have. I'm still in search of a German Horzu pressing. Now
That is supposed to sound amazing.
there are a couple that are crap because the first one or two they used simulated stereo, and
Okay.
then they're the true stereo pressings, like the second and third pressing. So I am still in search of a good German Horzu Magical Mystery Tour. Horzu was a German pressing. They pressed for Apple in Germany.
Yeah.
So you can get some with the Apple label, some with Horzu, and they went from like 71 to about 83. And they say that is the one that Dan's talking about is considered to be the best sounding Beatles record that was ever released anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any of the original master
I
MoFi
do. I
Beatles?
have. I only have one. I just have one, and that's Sergeant Pepper.
I had a chance to
Course.
buy that box set at one time, and
You shouldn't because it sucks.
no, it's not well. It's not well.
Apparently, the Magic of Mystery Tour Mobile Fidelity original master recording is the worst sounding Beatles record
Yeah.
ever released.
Yeah.
So it's funny that the same album is at both ends of the
What
spectrum.
about the blue boxes? Do you have any of those BC?
Oh, the BC-13. I'm also in search of one of those, but they're in Canada. They're around $2,000. So
Yeah.
don't see it happening.
This guy's the website lists all the different LP pressing. Yes. Doors' first album is so hard panned as well. Yeah, some of those people who did their stereo mixes are just dreadful. I like the 50th anniversary.
Me too.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. That's probably the best one.
Yep.
I think. Okay. Jack learned something tonight. The matrix numbers are after the outer groove in the center of an LP, just outside the center label. Master Apprentices was another Dutch band, I think. Oh, that's when he mentioned.
That's the one that BP was telling you or asking about.
When misbehaves, his wife makes him stay in the basement to listen to Whitney Houston. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
My wife will threaten that too because she's got some Whitney and she knows I hate it.
Yeah.
In fact, I did a video a while back about some of my wife's records that stink, and Whitney Houston was in there.
But my wife's afraid that if I wanted to get even, I would put on Tom Waits. So, Master Apprentices are an Australian band. Check the albums: A Toast to Panama Red and other albums, choice cuts. Oh, Master's Apprentices. Okay. Do you ever play that record, Rob?
Nope.
Matthew Street says many Butcher covers were dumped in a landfill. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah. I have a fake Butcher cover. Yeah, you can buy those pretty cheap.
Yeah, those are easy to find.
$25. The Butcher cover appeared again in the gatefold of a Beatles comp. Yes, that's it.
Beatles rarities.
Yeah, I used to have that. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have that record. One of my.
This is an interesting compilation actually because they're just they're versions of the songs that hadn't been released before. So it's kind of what they did with Anthology.
Yeah.
Sort of lesser known. They're just alternate versions. So they give you a little.
Is that a Canadian release?
No, it's North American.
Is
so I mean, the pressing that I've got is Capitol Records of Canada.
Yeah.
But it came out in America and the US, and then it came out in the UK as well, except they didn't use this cover. So the cover looks like the BC-13 blue box It's blue with gold writing, says Beatles rarities, and all the tracks are
Oh, I've
listed,
seen that. Yeah.
stamped up from the bottom. It's the same thing, just a different artwork.
Oh, okay. Beatles rarities, the U.S. edition.
Yep.
Thanks, James. I forgot the name. Moon Tan has Radar Love on it. Yeah, I think I have that Golden Earring album on vinyl. Those old Goldmine price books should only be used for pricing vinyl. Yeah, no kidding. That'd be nice. You can get records for $5.
Yeah.
Get a record of one. I have Beatles #1 on vinyl.
Me too. I have the original.
It sounds really good too.
So there's two versions. There's the original pressing from 2000.
How would I know which one I have?
I'm going to show you. I feel like this is a Beatles record education video.
Educational.
So here's the two of them.
Yeah.
The original 2000 version is this one. It's a little bit thinner. It's still a gatefold, but it's a little thinner than the other one. I don't know how well this shows up on camera.
Oh, yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
Okay. But the easiest way to tell is the 2000 version. Beatles is in a faded red, where in the 2015 version, the word Beatles is in yellow.
Okay, now you got to get me. No, I'm getting up.
So, and here's the reason why that matters. The 2000 version is good, but the 2015 version, what they did is they went back to the original master tapes and remixed everything. So these are brand new mixes, and they did it to coincide with the mono master represses that came out in 2014. So when they had the tapes, these are all new mixes. So they're all different mixes than the 2000 version.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I have the yellow. I got the 2015.
Yeah.
I won that on a Edward Prague, whose channel is Prague Hat.
I need to get a new one of
a
this.
Contest, and I won it, and he sent it up to me brand new.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I need to get this because this version I got off Facebook Marketplace for $25, and I got it home, and I played it, and side one on record one has a divot in the vinyl so bad that Love Me Do will not play. So I contacted the seller and I said, I'd like to return it because it's unplayable. And she said, you know what? I'll just give you your money back and you keep it. So I have it, but I can play, 2/3 of the thing. I can't play all of it. So I still need to get one that's fully playable because it sounds excellent.
Yeah, it's a good record. It's one of my go-to Beatle albums, to tell you the truth. Even when I have people over, like I'll put on the CD.
Yeah.
It plays for an hour and it's all great tunes and you don't have to change anything. It's probably my favorite Beatles comp.
Nice.
Favorite Beatles single B-side.
Ooh.
I used to know every A and B side, but I'm getting older now. I forget most of them. I'm going to say Yes, It Is, and
that's exactly what I was
of Ticket to Ride.
That was exactly my answer as well. Yes, it is.
It's Ticket to Ride, right?
I think it's Ticket to Ride.
Okay.
I love that song.
Yeah.
John's vocals
Ticket to Ride.
in that.
Yeah, I love that. The harmonies and the.
Yep.
Yeah.
His vocals
That's funny.
are
We both
incredible.
picked the same one. I'm glad I remembered that. I used to know them all. I had them all. So. Wow, that's crazy. Hold on. I remember how great that Horzu sounded. Wish I didn't sell it. I was shocked at
unfortunately, everyone's catching on to those horror zoos, so they're going up substantially.
Yeah. Village Green does sound great on CD. Fantastic. All the Kinks reissues, these anniversary issues sound fantastic. Yeah, on vinyl too. I've got a couple. I don't have Village Green on vinyl, but I've got something else and a couple others, and they sound great. Can you guys review those two Masters Apprentices albums I suggested? I'm going to write it down here, Boston Pizza, and so we'll look it up.
We'll give them a listen.
Master Apprentices. Okay, I promise. The Penny Lane on Rarities sounds the best. I haven't heard Rarities for so long. That was my second vinyl sell-off in my life. Got rid of them. You have a great collection of Beatles oldies, Volume 1 and 2.
Yes.
I didn't know there was a Volume 2. The UK Beatles Rarities is different track listing. Ah.
I have a first pressing of that as well.
Who was the better? I think Art Linkletter, actually.
Me too.
Yeah. Except Art Linkletter, if you remember this, Art Linkletter's daughter took LSD and jumped off a building.
Really? I didn't know that.
And he spent a lot of years telling us teenagers not to take drugs.
Well, that's probably sage advice.
Not that we listened to Art Linkletter, but anyway, Rob, it is 4 minutes to 10.
Wow, we made it.
So what are you up to?
What am I up to? I got a video in the can that I just gotta make the thumbnail and upload it. So
what's it doing in the bathroom?
Yeah, right. I finally did that. I said I was going to do that video where I was going to talk about the Fleetwood Mac alternate collection, which I finally did.
Oh.
And at the end of the video, I reveal what that grail was that I landed a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. We'll look forward to that. That sounds cool.
So I don't know if I'll get it up tomorrow, but it'll be up Friday for sure.
If I get usually I'll get a couple of bucks from the wife for my birthday. I'm not, if that happens, I'm really thinking about getting that alternate thing. But I think I'll just buy the CD set. I don't think I'm going to get the albums.
Yeah,
but, I'm kind of thinking that's kind of on my list.
It's good. And what I say in the video is many of the songs you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference unless you listen to the album version and then the alternate version.
Yeah.
But what I did say is there are some that are so standout exceptional.
Yeah.
For example, the one that I always use is the alternate version of The Chain. You wouldn't know that that's what you were listening to. That's how different it is.
Yeah.
It's a quiet Stevie Nicks acoustic number, nothing like the heavy guitar, anthemic side 2 opener that we all know.
What about Never Going Back Again? Is it that one with the extra guitar in it?
I can't remember.
I used to have a DVD audio version of Rumors, and it had alternate mixes on it.
Yeah, it's got to be the same
Never
one.
Going Back Again had, you get Lindsey Buckingham's finger picking.
Yeah.
But there was this other like electric guitar that would come in at various parts that just kind of went, oh man, what is that?
I'd have to listen again because
so different.
I sessioned all 5 of them in the last few days, so it's kind of a jumbled mess at this point in time. But
I'm thinking about. We'll see. I don't know.
I think it's. I mean, if you like Fleetwood Mac and if you like that sort of Rumors era Fleetwood Mac, it's worth it.
Yeah. Let's get through some of these comments and then say goodnight. Do you know it's for you that John Lennon? Is that new song that they're working on? I
don't know. I don't think they've said what it is yet.
Happy birthday. Thank you, Ernie. I appreciate it. Is there a comp for all the B-sides of Beatles?
Yes. Go with either Past Masters or Mono Masters.
Yeah. The Past Masters has
Past Masters is good. Mono Masters is similar, but there's a couple songs that are different.
Yeah.
They're better mixes. But
I have all the alternate Fleetwood Mac CDs except Tango in the Night.
That's the worst one of them all. So
besides Past Masters.
Not really.
Probably not.
No. You could get the singles box set, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, man. Great week. Thanks. It was fun.
There you go.
2 hours just flies by.
There you go. Happy birthday, Glenn.
Thank you, buddy. We will see you guys next week and watch Rob's video on Fleetwood Mac and his Holy Grail. And I'll be back with some stuff too. And everyone have a great night. Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.